I recently watched a video titled How I Built a 10 Crore Agency Without Any Knowledge. It was a brilliant video, but it got me thinking. I did not start an agency, I did not sell courses, I did not sell a dream. And still, by 26, I have made my first crore comfortably. But you know what's funny? I grew up watching all those course seller videos, people showing flashy dashboards, fake testimonials and selling dreams for 5,000 rupees. I saw how many people got scammed and I told myself my first crore would not come from selling a course. I thought that meant I would never really make it big. Turns out I was completely wrong. And if you give me the next 12 minutes, I will prove why the slow traditional path, the one that everyone ignores, might just be the fastest way to your first legitimate crore. When you're in college, let's be honest, you don't really know how the world works. You're just figuring things out. And if you're an average engineering kid like I was, you think there are only two options if you don't want to take a regular 9-to-5 job. Option 1, start a coaching business or a startup. Now, usually this happens if you are from a top tier college. You've got networks and your brand name already carries heavy weight. For example, if you're from IIT or BITS Pilani, it's common to start a JEE or an IELTS coaching platform or a DSA placement preparation startup. Option 2, the more popular one, is to start an agency. Because on paper it looks so easy, right? Get a laptop, a friend who can design, another who runs ads, and boom, you are an agency founder. See, it sounds fancy, looks great on LinkedIn, and feels like you're escaping the boring 9-to-5. But here's the reality I saw firsthand. Most of those agencies were gone within a year. No clients, no money. Just a bunch of burnt out 22-year-olds who thought they would have cracked the code, but ended up right back on the job market. This time with even lesser confidence. And that's when it hit me. Agencies are a luxury business. The people who really win big are the ones who can actually afford to fail. They got backing, network, or family cushion. Most of us don't. We are middle class. So instead of trying to look like a wannabe entrepreneur, I chose to slow down and actually understand how businesses really work. I wanted to see the real game. Where's the money flowing? What are the tailwinds? Which niche problems are companies quietly paying crores to solve while everyone else is busy chasing shiny, overcrowded businesses, fighting for attention? Now that's where the real opportunities are. Not in the flashy, noisy, trendy place everyone in their 20s is hyping, but in the boring, unsexy spaces that quietly compounding. So I took the opposite route. I took a job. Not because I lacked ambition, but because I wanted clarity. Because even before you play the game, you have got to learn the rules. And today, am I a better person, more leveraged, with deeper connections? 100%. Now, one thing I realized early on, being a generalist sounds cool, but it's a trap. If you're half good at 5 things, you're competing with thousands of others who are also half good. You're replaceable. But if you're world class at one thing, people just can't ignore you. And if you're rare enough to combine 2 complementary skills at high level, that's even better. Because here's the truth. It's always harder to be absolute best at one thing than to be pretty good at 2 things. Take my example. I'm a data engineer. Everything I do is data driven. But at the same time, I understand design and video editing at a professional level. Now tell me, how many people do you know like that? This rare mix opened more doors than I ever imagined. Jobs, collaborations, projects, even distribution. See, that's the power of going deep first, then stacking skills strategically. Here's another thing I realized while everyone around me were starting their own agencies. See, agencies are a level game. As demand rises, you just can't scale magically. You hire more people, manage more clients, handle more operations. Basically, more humans, but that also means more problems. It's not infinitely scalable. You will hit your ceiling fast. Compare that to tech or content. In tech, one product can serve millions without adding headcount. And content, that's the highest form of leverage we have ever had. Naval Ravikant said it best. Code and media are permissionless leverage. They work for you while you sleep. Now that line kind of stuck with me. Because it's true. One YouTube video can reach 100,000 people overnight. And I've seen it firsthand. I've worked with agencies, I see their numbers. And let me tell you, our YouTube channel alone makes more revenue than many agencies with 20 plus employees. And we are just a 3-member team. That's the difference. Now don't get me wrong, both paths actually work. See, I am ambitious, but I'm also very, very lazy. So here's how I saw it. Path 1 is grind an agency, make a lot of capital, then jump to something more scalable. Path 2, skip that grind, go straight to something that's actually scalable. I chose path 2. So instead of starting an agency, I took a job.
I don't know you down to the bone, you're making me sweat, you're making me cold, and I love it.
And not just any job. My first package was, well, a lot of people look down on jobs, thanks to social media. They think a job means setting. But honestly, that job was one of the smartest decisions I've ever made. Here's why. First, stability and capital. While my agency friends were stressing over $5,000 retainers, I had a predictable runway. I could save, invest, experiment without desperation. Second, industry clarity. Working inside the tech showed me where the real money flows, which problems companies actually pay Crore to solve. Third, standing out. By stacking a complementary skill, content design and psychology, I instantly stood out from other average engineers. Fourth, time and energy for leverage. Because I wasn't firefighting client issues, I had bandwidth to build something scalable. Content. I will give you a real life example. My manager and I once led an open source meetup drive. We got some of the biggest tech companies to our office. I handled the content side, the filming, the storytelling, the editing. Now, that one initiative landed me a $2,000 inbound lead. Just because I could combine engineering with media. That's the power of stacking rare skills. Now, don't get me wrong. Most engineers were great coders, but they weren't actively thinking about storytelling, distribution, or even branding in general. And that's when it kind of clicked to me. Technical skills can get you in the room, but storytelling will help you keep there. Now that realization changed how I saw everything after that. After that, I stopped thinking like an employee and started acting like a founder inside a company. Because once you understand leverage, you start designing your life around it. I could have gotten into FANG, it was easy. But we all know what that means. 70-hour weeks, constant firefighting, and no time for anything else. So instead, I picked balance. My workload rarely went above 20 hours a week. That meant I could show up, do great work, collect a fat paycheck, and still have time and energy to build my own personal brand. And that's where the compounding starts. I wasn't chasing retainers or client calls. I was building leverage through content. See, skills open door, but distribution is what keeps them open. So I used that free time to start creating. Not because I had an audience, but because I wanted one. When you share what you learn, you attract opportunities you didn't even know existed. One post, one video, one idea, that's how leverage starts. Just momentum that compounds. And soon, the market noticed. While most people were fighting through 8 interview rounds, I was getting inbound job offers. Companies were reaching out to me. Just last month, one of those landed on my table. 8 lakhs a month. All cash, no ESOPs. Now, that's what happens when you combine skill, leverage and distribution. You stop being on the wrong side of demand and supply. You remember how earlier I said I grew up watching all those course sellers? And I promised myself my first crore would never come from selling one. I still absolutely stand by that promise. But now, I finally understand why people even buy courses in the first place. See, people don't pay for information anymore. It's just a ChatGPT away. They pay for clarity, for expertise, for shortcuts, for proof that whatever you're saying actually works. In simple times, they're buying time. That's what most creators miss. They start teaching before they've even built anything worth teaching. So while others were selling frameworks, आजकल iPhone में इतना ही आता है. I spent time testing mine. Now my audience keeps asking me, Bhaiya, when are you dropping your course? And for the first time, I'm actually considering it. Because now, I'm on the other side of demand and supply. There's real market pull for the kind of motion graphics we create and only a handful of people who can actually deliver it. That's what happens when you stop chasing shortcuts and start mastering your craft. You become rare. You become the supply the market is begging for. So let's zoom out for a bit. Agencies aren't the only way to make your first crore. In fact, for most people, they are not even the best way. If you want a framework that actually works, here's what my journey proved. First, get into a high-paying job with balance. The market runs on demand and supply. If you're in a role where companies are desperate for talent, that leverage flips in your favor. You don't chase opportunities. Opportunities start chasing you. A stable, high-paying job gives you something most entrepreneurs never have. Runway. Runway to learn, to invest, to build. Second, master one core skill. Forget being average at 10 things. Pick one. Go deep. Then layer complementary skills that make you rare. In my case, engineering plus content plus design. That intersection made me irreplaceable. That's how you become the only one person who can do it all. Third, build distribution. Skills open doors, but distribution multiplies everything you do. So start creating. Share what you're learning, post your process, document your journey. One piece of content can reach more people than 100 cold emails ever will. Now that's real leverage. Fourth, don't ignore equity. Now this is the silent wealth creator no one is really talking about. Join the right company at the right time and your ESOPs or your RSUs can quietly take you from 30 lakhs to even 1 CR without you lifting a finger beyond your daily job routine. See, salary pays the bill, equity builds the wealth. Everything I have shared so far, that was my journey. But remember, I did all of this in pre-AI era. If I had to start today, the blueprint would be a little different. Sure, the principle stays the same, but AI changes the execution. I am out of time for this video, but if you want me to break down that 2026 playbook in detail, drop a comment saying 2026. And I'm not even going to ask you to subscribe because people who actually want to change already have.
Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now.